Vincent's parole.
Yes.
I'd like you to reconsider.
Well, it would be going against my principles. My conviction is that she is not ready for parole.
Yes. What do you see as her main problems?
Well, David Austin is one of them.
Oh, yes, Mr. Austin, a real troublemaker.
To say the least. He would use Vincent's parole to further his own interests.
I'm sure you're right.
Well, surely we can use that as justification for refusing parole, for her own protection.
We could make a recommendation on the condition that she disassociates herself from Austin.
Yes, it's some sort of compromise.
But you're not entirely satisfied?
No. Vincent has a history of instability. I feel the pressures of the art world may reawaken that instability.
Well, she'll have to face that world sometime, Erica. We can only do so much. And it would be diplomatic to parole her now.
To save the department embarrassment?
Well, yes.
Well, I'm not happy about recommending her parole.
Look, as a friend, I sympathize. However, I'm afraid this is an order.
I thought it would be.
Anyway, shall we say from Austin?
Yes, well, I'll show you out.
But you must be crazy. I mean, that story in the paper really put the gong on my chances of parole.
You don't seem to understand.
Oh.
Because of that article, you've got public opinion on your side.
Yeah, but the public's not the parole board, are they?
No, but the welfare department is extremely sensitive to criticism. Listen, if you're not paroled, there'll be a public outcry saying that you really were set up over Gilmore's death, and that's the last sort of publicity that department wants.
I hadn't thought of it like that.
Listen, your parole is a certainty.
But if I get
No, not if. When?
When I get my parole. I mean, just getting out of here scares me, but the art world, I mean, all those people and their crazy words saying my painting's got, what is it? Deep symbolism or something. They make me feel like a moron. I mean, I just don't think I can hack it.
Listen, it's my job to talk to those sort of people. You just paint your little heart out.
That's all I want to do. I don't know, sometimes I just stare at my work thinking it's crap. I mean, maybe it's just no good.
I've told you dozens of times, you're extremely talented. Look, there's a group of people out there that think you're the hottest thing since Brett Whiteley. It's true.
You wouldn't be saying that to make me feel good, would you?
Now, you listen here. I've just pre-sold 6 of your paintings for $1,000 each.
Oh, that's terrific. That's fantastic. Yeah, but when do they have to be finished?
Oh, say 6 weeks after you get out of here.
6 weeks? You're kidding. I can't do that. I'll never be able to. I can't.
Of course you can. All you have to do is work out a routine, apply some discipline. You can do it on your head.
No, I don't know. I mean, I've never worked to a deadline before.
Mr. Reed reckons Marcia wants to see me. I told him I'd think about it.
Gorge, you're contrary, Lizzie. You haven't said it for 30 years and you'll think about it.
Yeah, but I don't reckon it is Marcia. And if she travels to Melbourne by train, the department have to pay a fare because she's skint.
Well, so what? It's not going to cost you anything.
Nah, but if I tell them it isn't my daughter, I'm going to get lumbered with the bill. False pretensions. I reckon it's somebody looking for a free ride.
Okay, so it's someone looking for a free ride. It's probably some poor old sod down on her luck. Give her a free trip to Melbourne. Have a visitor. Not going to cost you anything, and you'll probably be doing someone a favour.
I'll think about it.
Mr. Austin, don't sign out yet, please. The governor would like to see you.
Yes, sure.
Mr. Stewart, could you take over, please?
Yeah.
This way, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I've got to see my wife, Doreen Burns.
Look, prison regulations permit only one visit a week. Addison's already had her.
Yeah, I know all that, but look, this is really important. I mean, I'm sure if I saw Mrs. Davis...
Okay, if you just give me the details.
Well, it's about her house. It was left to her by her mother about the end of last year.
Hang on a second. Wait a minute. Mrs. Davison's rather busy at the moment. But I might be able to stretch a point, seeing as how you're just newlywed and all. So if you just hang on here a second, I'll get an officer to fetch your wife.
Well, thanks. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
From the time you met Vincent and encouraged her work, it was assumed by the department that you were acting in her best interests.
I am acting in her best interests. I want to see her paroled.
And yet you launched into a smear campaign to discredit the prison service and its officers.
Yes, well, I'm sorry if I trod on any toes, but I'm sure you'll understand my point of view. Carrie deserved parole years ago. She didn't seem like getting it, so I was obliged to use somewhat devious means to make sure that she did get it.
And I'm sure you'll use somewhat devious means to make Vincent's parole profitable to you.
My sole concern is developing Carrie's talent, something which can't be done while she's still here in prison. Your officers make quite sure of that.
Then I'm sure you'll be happy to learn that I'm recommending her parole.
It's very generous of you, Mrs. Davidson.
On the condition that she has no further contact with you.
But I'm her agent. She needs an agent, believe me.
Then she will find another agent.
But that's not the same thing at all. We have a rapport, something she wouldn't have with anyone else. She needs someone to help her, to support her, to encourage her, to give her...
all the encouragement and support she needs from her parole officer.
I see. Yes, you've made up your mind, haven't you?
And I hope you have made up your mind not to jeopardize her parole by making contact with her when she is released.
Yes, naturally. There are a number of business matters we have to tie up,
Then we can do that now. Would you take Mr. Austin back to the interview room and arrange for an officer to fetch Vincent?
Yes, Mrs. Davison.
And make the interview no longer than 10 minutes. I'm sure that will give you sufficient time to terminate your business agreement.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Davidson.
Hi. Oh, geez, it's good to see you. What about a kiss then?
Mrs. Jackson?
Look, prison regulations expressly forbid physical contact.
It is their honeymoon, Mr. Stewart.
I know.
What's the matter, Dawn?
Nothing. Look, just keep walking, because I want to talk to you about something.
Thought you were here to talk business, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, well, I am. Look, Dora, it's about selling your mother's house.
Do you think it's a good idea?
No way. You know, I want us to start married life right, and, well, that means owning our own home.
Yeah, but we could buy another one because they offered me $100,000.
No, Dora, please, we've talked about this before, you know.
Yeah, but you said you were coming here to talk to me about selling the house.
Yeah, well, that's because some bludger's been heavying me to put the hard word on you to sell.
Who was it?
I don't know, just some thug, but, well, I thought I'd better warn you because he might come round here.
Yeah, well, you better do something, otherwise he might have another go at you.
There's another go at me, I'll knock his block off.
Time's up, Anderson.
He's hit me, Kevin.
What did you say? What did you say?
Oh, nothing. Look, just look after yourself, okay?
Don't you worry about me. But remember, we're not going to sell the house, okay? Promise?
Yeah, promise.
Well, the good news is that Mrs. Davidson has recommended your parole.
Well, that's fantastic news.
Yes, well, there are a few strings attached. You are to have no contact with me at all.
But why?
Well, it seems to be some perverse wish of the governor's.
Yes, look, just stick to business matters, please, Mr. Austin.
Yes, well, if I must. Now, the paintings. I'll contact the buyer. He'll be in touch with you and pay you direct.
Look, I don't think I can do them now. I mean, you promised you'd be around to help me.
Now, listen, Carrie, sweetheart. I'd be by your side if I possibly could, but if I don't butt out of your life now, your parole goes straight out the window.
Yeah, I know that, but I still can't do the paintings. I mean, not in that time, not without you.
Well, even though I'm not there in person, I'll be thinking about you, caring about...
I guess it's just mind over matter, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So no more of this nonsense. You can do those paintings, even though I'm not there.
I'll do them for you.
Thank you. I thought you might.
What's the joke?
Oh, it's...
All right, time's up, Mr. Austin.
Miss Vincent, it's been a pleasure knowing you.
And you. And thanks. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Do you ever miss Pentridge?
Sometimes. You sound as if you can't wait to get back.
Well, quite frankly, it'd be a pleasure. You go by the book down there, and that's something that I like.
Well, we go pretty much by the book here.
As far as security is concerned, I'll give you an example. Young Barnes, he visited his wife today, and Mrs. Jackson allowed physical contact.
Well, that's breaking the rules, I'll admit, but that pair's pretty harmless.